I woke up in my bed. At first, I thought I must have had a bad dream. I jumped out of bed and headed for my bedroom door. Across the hall, on my sister's bedroom door, is a poster of Jack Sparrow. If it's there, then this was a horrible dream and I'm safe. I yanked the door open and there was a blank wall and no door. No Jack Sparrow. I shut the door and sank to my knees. Shit, this is real. Those horrible creatures killed me. They knew who I really was. A knock on the door shook me and I opened it cautiously. I nearly melted with relief. It was Aisha. Welcome back, my friends. I hope you're back because you're enjoying this story. I'd like some more encouragement. Please smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Now let's get back to the story. Hey, are you okay? I came to check on you because you missed breakfast, but you weren't here, she said. Oh, Boehm took me to the medical facility. I was out of it when I came back. What else did I miss? I asked her. I wasn't sure if I could trust her with what I'd learned yet. Are you sick? There was genuine concern on her face. No, I asked for a tour and freaked out when I saw some of the others. I wasn't expecting that. I must have fainted or something. Aisha grinned at me. My first time seeing them, I screamed my head off. They had to sedate me. That's probably what they did to you too. Anyway, since you're feeling better, we can go out if you like. I pulled her all the way into my room. Hell yeah, I want to see everything. Great. Until you're given your path and finish your training, you pretty much get a free pass. Everything is on them. I can take you shopping if you want. Some of the Anthoran fashions aren't too bad. Do I need to change? I asked her, smoothing down my sweater. Aisha looked me up and down and shook her head. You're fine. Come on, let's go. She led the way out of the dorm. Once outside, I felt a bit more relaxed. Do you want to take a conveyor or walk? She asked me. Is it far? I countered. No. If you don't mind, I want to walk. I didn't get to see much before. What did you mean by everything is on them? Who's them? The Anthoran government, silly. What did you think I meant? I don't know. Hey, everybody keeps talking about paths. What is it? You know how on Earth you go to school to learn a trade? Well, it's like that. A trade is your path. Okay, that makes sense. What's your path? Mine is healer. Never in a million years would I have thought to go anywhere near medicine back on Earth. But here, all I can think about is ways to make people feel better. Did you find out what your path is yet? My path is warrior, I said quietly. Aisha stopped in her tracks. Oh wow, Fiona, that's mega cool. It is. Hell yeah, warriors are revered here. They are the protectors of our people. Once you're trained, you get to go into outer space on patrol. Great, I changed the subject. Those guys we sat with the other night, were they warriors too? I've been here almost a week and they were still snubbing me. Aisha started to laugh. They acted like they were big shots telling you that you died a dishonorable death. But here on Anthora 2, they aren't warriors. They are teachers and communications technicians. I grabbed Aisha's hand and pulled her along. Don't you find it funny that none of us are doing what we did on the other worlds? I mean, I was a student in college, but here they're telling me that I'm a warrior. They explained it this way. On Earth, our true nature was dormant, suppressed. Once we got here, it emerged. That's why we can suddenly speak and read our native language, she explained. I nodded and remembered when my essence returned to my body. Jahael spoke to me, but I couldn't understand him, and then a few minutes later I did. I hadn't thought it was strange then. I was still in shock. I was in a draw, cold and naked. I wanted to believe that all this was real, but for some reason, I didn't want to trust anyone completely. Aisha showing up wearing clothes exactly like mine and her being able to answer all my questions was just too perfect. I keep thinking something was up. I could see other Anthorans as we walked, just people strolling and enjoying the balmy weather. They all seemed humanoid and normal. The buildings were all the same until a few blocks later. The scene changed and I tried to take it all in. The shopping center looked like something I've seen on television. Blue-haired people were in the shops and some were outside hawking at customers to come see their wares. Their path is customer service, but some follow other paths too. They are excellent shopkeepers and are very successful at selling, Aisha explained. What do they sell? I asked. Come on, I'll show you. She grabbed my arm and led me into one of the shops. At this point, I believed again that I was on another world. Behind the counters were more blue-haired people wearing aprons. The shop she led me into turned out to be a restaurant. The food looked like nothing I've ever seen. In a steaming pot, something white churned, and I glanced away quickly. "What is that?" I asked Aisha. "That's one of their delicacies. It's called NG. It's kind of like tofu back on Earth. They are from a planet called EP.4, and they are vegetarians." I looked at her. "How do you know all this?" Aisha smiled widely at me. "It's part of my training as a healer. It is important that I know all of our Anthoran refugees. I learn about their anatomy so I can best treat them when they come to me." We walked out of the restaurant and she led me to a clothing store. This time, human-looking people greeted us. There were racks upon racks of clothes of every description. Some of them made no sense to me. Isha explained that some Anthorans have more than 4 limbs, hence the extra sleeves and pant legs. I looked around to see if I could spot anyone that would fit those clothes but didn't see any. "Those clothes are for the Nozans. They are subterranean dwellers, very gentle people, but hard to look at. I really need to go back to the library. I've got a lot to learn. I kind of understand that when the original Anthorans evacuated the planet, they had to find new worlds to call home. So whatever planet they landed on, they had to intermingle in order to survive. It explains why we are all different on the outside but the same on the inside." Isha patted me on the back. "You're getting it." "I think I am," I admitted. We shopped. I bought boots and a dress that turned out to be a mood dress. It changed colors depending on my mood. By the time we got back, it was dark, and I was hungry. "Do you have classes after dinner?" "No, I went to classes this morning when I didn't see you." "If you're not doing anything, can you come hang out with me? Or I can come to your room too." "Ooh, come to my room. I have something to show you," Aisha said excitedly. "Yeah, what?" "You're just going to have to wait and see. Come on, we don't want to miss dinner." The atmosphere was different than the previous evening. We sat at the same table and this time the others were friendlier. The one who tried to shame me greeted me. "I would like to apologize for what I said to you. I am honored to meet you, Fiona Brightblade. My friends are Ming, Druktar, Lila, and I am Gork. We are from Aveng 3, he said. I waved at them. "Pleased to meet you all. How long have you been here?" "We have been here 7 years. My friends and I were soldiers on Aveng 3. We were all killed in battle," Gork informed me. Aisha did not lie when she said that Anthorans revered warriors. Gork was a different person than the one I'd met a few nights ago. "How did you find out that I was a warrior?" I asked out of curiosity. Gork looked around quickly as if he wasn't supposed to know what he's about to tell me. "I overheard my former teacher talking with Master Tul. When I heard your name, I started paying attention. Master Tul only trains warriors." "You were warriors on your world. Don't you want to continue doing that now?" I asked him. "Druktar and Ming are teachers. Lila and I are communications techs. As soon as we came to this world, we knew exactly what we were meant to do." I smiled and ate quickly. I was starting to feel like a bug under a microscope. Everyone was staring. Aisha's room was very pink and girly. She smiled and opened the door on her bureau. Inside was a television set. I couldn't believe it. She had a TV. "You've got a TV? Does it work? What can you watch on it?" "Somehow they've managed to have all my favorite shows on it," she gushed. She clicked it on and I could see cartoons playing on it. "You've been here 5 years. Don't you get tired of watching reruns? I mean, you're not getting new seasons, are you?" I asked, amazed and shocked at the same time. Aisha clapped her hands and nodded. "Yes, incredible, right? Somehow Anthoran technology can tap into Earth's satellites and broadcast whatever I want to watch. Isn't it great?" I looked at the TV and shook my head. Why then couldn't they bring my phone over? Aisha stopped smiling and clicked the TV off. I had a cell phone too, but it didn't cross over either. Besides, how was I going to use it here, she reasoned. "If you don't mind, I'd like to go back to the library. Can you take me?" She nodded and we left her room. From our dorm area, Aisha took a different route than the one Jahael took with me. This place was confusing. I was afraid that I would never be able to get around without an escort. I made a mental note to ask for a map. Aisha told me she couldn't stay with me, and I entered the library alone. I told the keeper of records what I wanted, and she led me back to the history section. I steered clear of the animal book and picked up the early history of Anthora. I was amazed again that the words I was reading weren't in the alphabet I was used to growing up. Anthorans were a peace-loving race, highly evolved and cultured people. They originated in a galaxy billions of miles from anything known on Earth. This planet that I found myself on now is Anthora 2, as the original was destroyed in the galactic war between Anthora and a species known as Frogans. This race resembled what Earth scientists called Greys, but these were blood red. It is not known if they have a homeworld, but they planet hop and strip them of all their natural resources and enslave its inhabitants. In a last-ditched effort to rid the planet of their enemies, the ancestral Anthoran warriors fought back and won a grand victory by killing their leader. A bloody war ensued and the Frogans called for reinforcements. Their battleships came in from every direction, surrounding the planet. Anthora was given an ultimatum. They had to surrender or the planet would be destroyed. Unbeknownst to the Frogans, the Anthoran government had put their Plan B into action. While the battle waged between bands of rebels and the Frogans, the Space Corps managed to gather all the planet's citizens and blasted them into space in every direction. It was an operation that was years in the making, which took all of the people's best minds to achieve. And it worked. In the book, I found a picture of the mural I saw on the walls near the Elders' chambers. The book didn't give a numerical year. Instead, it was recorded as during the reign of Lothar the Great. In another book, I read about the plan to reunite the people of Anthora. Scientists were able to inject each original refugee with a gene preserver they'd devised. This enabled the species to survive no matter where they landed and no matter what other species they intermingled with. This injection also enabled each person with foreknowledge of Anthora. This was a lot to take in, and I assume that hundreds of thousands of years have passed between the war, the Exodus, and this reclaiming project. In yet another book, I read about how they saved plants, animals indigenous to the planet. Anthora 2 was a planet two-dimensional jumps away from the original. It was not ideal, but the scientists were able to terraform it to suit them. It took 2,000 years of hard work, living in dangerous conditions before it became what it is today. There had been a race of beings living on the planet, a humanoid species with gills along their necks and throats. They lived on both land and water. They managed to subdue them and eventually procreated with them. It was getting late, so I returned the books to their shelves and headed back toward the entrance of the library. I'd memorized the way and was able to find my way back to my room. My brain wouldn't shut off. I kept replaying my assassination over in my head. I realized that the Frogans were hunting surviving Anthorans. If I was found and killed, it was safe to assume that my brother was in danger. Suddenly, I found myself committing fully to my path as warrior. I will fight to save my brother, and I will fight to protect Anthorans. In the morning, I rushed to get breakfast early. I didn't want to miss seeing Jahael. I wanted to speak with the elders again. I was eager to start my warrior's training. At our table, I found what I decided was my crew. I greeted everyone quickly and ate while keeping an eye out for Jahael. "Hey, slow down! What's the hurry?" asked Aisha. "I need to find Jahael. I want to see the elders again." "Oh, I guess you didn't know. Jahael finished his training. He's working at the Space Corps now." "No, I didn't know. I thought we were all trainees," I said, looking around the table. "Are you all done with your training?" Gork nodded. "Yes, since Jahael is new to the Space Corps, he must undergo additional training in the use of our computers. Do any of you know how I can make an appointment to see the elders?" "You can put a request in at the library. Why?" Aisha asked. I looked at her skeptically. It's weird questions like that make me suspicious of this whole "you're on another planet" thing. "I have more questions, and I wanted to know how long before I start my training," I answered guardedly. "That's easy. They usually give you a few days to acclimate, and then you get a physical done. After that, you start your training. It was suspended so that I could spend time with you since we're both from Earth," Aisha said. "Okay, but I still want to see the elders, and I want to get a map so I can get around on my own." "The library is where you want to go. I have my final class today. Will I see you later?" asked Aisha. I nodded. "Yeah, sure. Have a great day." I watched as they all got up to leave. I quickly dumped my tray and made my way to the library. There, the keeper helped me make the appointment to see the elders, and she gave me a map. While I waited for my time to see the elders, I read some more in the library. This time, I wanted to know about the elders. Each robe signified a part of the government. Red robes governed matters of security, which included the Space Corps, warriors, and policing the populace. Green robes governed the environment. They oversaw power such as electricity and water. Purple robes saw to agriculture, all manner of foods grown or manufactured. Orange robes dealt with city affairs, such as schooling, social concerns like housing and entertainment. White robes were all about the health of the populace and other scientific matters. I guess that when I finished my training, I'd be wearing red. I can't wait to be able to travel to Earth. I wanted to make sure that my brother was safe, and I wanted to find those two bastards that killed me. Buck and John have a lot to answer for. I had a life and plans for my future, and now, all I want to do is kick Frogan butt. The keeper approached me to let me know the elders were ready for me. I got up quickly and followed her to the elders' chambers. This time, however, they were seated at a table at my level. Red Robe stood up and extended his hand out to me. I walked up to the table and shook his hand. I'm Elder Chaktar. I oversee our planet's security, Space Corps, and warrior departments of our government. Elder Edwards in the green robe is also from Earth. She governs our environmental concerns and its needs. Wearing the purple robe is our Elder Ula from EP.4. He oversees the agricultural government. Elder Bitka, wearing the orange robe, is from the Detlam Belt system. He governs our day-to-day city life. Finally, in the white robe is Elder Sim. She governs our healthcare system and scientific research. She is from EP.12. Each elder raised their hands when introduced. I shook hands with them and tried not to feel intimidated. Nice to meet you, I said respectfully. You made an appointment to see us. What can we do for you? Elder Sim asked. Well, I wanted to know if you had come to any conclusions about my murder, and I also wanted to know when my training begins. I am very worried about my brother's safety. Elder Chaktar nodded to me. Warrior Brightblade, after reviewing your recall results, we are convinced that you were singled out. I would ask you to keep how you died on Earth to yourself. We do not want the populace panicking about loved ones left behind. Can you do that? Of course, I won't tell anyone. Very well. You are among a group of newly reclaimed people who have been murdered by the Frogans. We have erased their memories, so panic don't spread. I understand. Why didn't you erase my memories? I asked. That's because you are a warrior, dear, said Elder Sim. This is information you need to know. When does my training start? Elder Chaktar smiled. Quite soon, actually. How long will my training last? Your fighting skills are a bit rusty, but we will soon rectify that. You also must go through a weapons training and other forms of combat. I must say this in your favor. Of the other warriors we've reclaimed, you have the most skill. This afternoon, we will require you to have a full physical. Bowen will come for you after lunch, Elder Sim said. She pulled down her hood to reveal blue hair. Once you are finished with your training, come see me about your new living quarters, Elder Bitka added. Then as a group, they got up and left me standing there. I went back to my room with a reeling head. I was right in my assumption that we were being hunted. They acted so calm about it. Weren't they worried that the Frogans would find us again? Weren't they afraid that war was coming? I couldn't sit still and went out. I wandered until I came to a shop with a symbol I recognized. It was the symbol for weapons. The moment I walked into the shop, I felt at home. I even recognized some of the weapons. Weird. The shopkeeper was silver-haired, and she wore a red band on her arm. I asked her what the band was for, and she said that it was a warrior's band. She introduced herself as Belle, as an officer of the Anthoran Defense Ground Division. My path is warrior as well. Am I able to purchase a weapon here? I asked her. I know who you are, Fiona Brightblade. Once you complete your training, a weapon will be waiting for you here, she answered. How do you know who I am? I asked her. This was getting annoying. The elders didn't tell you, Belle countered. No, what's there to tell? All I can say is that you are a Brightblade. You are special, the one we've been waiting for. What's that supposed to mean? Something was going on involving me, and no one wanted to talk about it. I got that vibe from the elders, Aisha, and the Aveng 3 crew. I'm sorry, I've said too much. One day soon it will be clear. Please go now. She looked so frightened that I left, just to give her some relief. If I was going to get straight answers, the library was the only place that wouldn't dodge answers. I left the shopping area and headed to the library. At the library, the keeper met me with that irritating smile of hers, and I wanted to ignore her, but I stopped myself. I told her that I wanted to continue with Enthoran history. In my previous readings, I came across folklore, and I asked the communicator on the desk, and it told me which shelf to find it. I sifted through all the legends until I found what I was looking for. It was the legend of the warrior who killed the Frogan leader. There was a picture of her. I stared at her face and couldn't look away. She was me. Our hair was the same rich auburn, and we looked the same. Her name was Lena of the Brightblade clan. She was the warrior who killed Oftha the Vile. That's it for now. Write in the comments if you think Fiona is in for the adventure of a lifetime. Imagine that you are the direct descendant of the warrior who defeated your people's greatest enemy. Come back to find out what happens next, and if you haven't done so, join our family by subscribing and liking the video.